Good afternoon, everybody. It's New Jersey Garden. Today I would love to show you a few things that are in bloom in the garden. And we have a few ground covers and low-growing perennials that are in bloom. This first one here is called Forget-Me-Not, and it reaches about 2 feet in height, and it's really adorable. It has little yellow centers, and the flowers are a pretty shade of blue. And what's interesting to me is that when the flowers first start to pop open, they start out as kind of a mauve color, and then they change to the light blue coloring. It is self-seeding, and it will spread throughout the yard. So what I do is when I find seedlings in the early spring, sometimes I move them to like a more central location, just so they're clustered into areas rather than having them all over the place. They do like moist areas in the yard, so I have just 3 spots where they seem to cluster. But if you do use Forget-Me-Not, I think you'll find that they do like to kind of spread all over the place. So it's just a point to note. And they will do fine in full sun. I have most of mine in full sun, although they do like shade as well. Okay, so here's a couple other low-growing perennials that I have. And this one here is called Lady's Mantle, and it's not in bloom yet, but it will be in bloom soon. It will have these chartreuse yellow flowers, but what I like about it is after it rains, these fuzzy leaves hold the water droplets. So it just looks very sparkling after it rains. And this variety is called Thriller. And it's a herbaceous perennial. What I like also about it is there's no pests that bother this plant. I've never seen any bugs on this Lady's Mantle whatsoever. And it's nice because it matches with everything, and even the little chartreuse flowers will go well with yellow. I have a yellow perennial right next to it called Basket of Gold Alyssum, and it looks good next to hot pinks and purples, and it really goes with everything. So it's just great because it grows really slowly, it doesn't spread all over the place, and it will do well in shade as well as sun. This next perennial is actually an herb, and it's called soapwart. It's also called bouncing bet, which was once a nickname for a washerwoman because the leaves of this plant apparently can be used to make soap. Apparently, early settlers in the United States used this plant to make detergent soap. I tried it once. I tried taking some of the leaves and crushing them up and boiling them, and I didn't get soap out of it, so I'd like to see if anyone out there has tried this or has heard of the proper method for creating soap out of this. I thought that was kind of a neat thing to try. And this is in full sun, and I have it in a few different spots. It's just starting to bloom now, and I'll show it again when it's in more of a full bloom situation. This perennial is called Basket of Gold Alyssum, and I've done a few other videos on this plant. It's closer to the rock cress family than to the alyssum family. It smells totally different from the annual alyssum. This is a perennial alyssum, and it's got kind of a woody center, and it's a little tough to transplant. I grew this from seed, like I've grown most of my plants from seed, and I did try transplanting a little bit of it into this part of the garden, and it was a little tricky to do, but I did it. And I like the leaves because even after it flowers, it's got this sort of bluish green leaf that just stays nice looking all summer long. So it's a really easy plant. It really likes cascading over walls. I have it over this little wall right here, kind of softens the edges, and I have it right next to the Lady's Mantle. So both of these plants, and actually along with the soapwort, are all great plants to have along rock walls because they kind of soften the hardscape. So this is another ground cover that I really love. It is Perennial Creeping Phlox, and it's just past its full bloom. It's just such a lovely shade, and it's such an easy plant. It grows very quickly, and it can handle some dry spots. This is a little garden area. I call this my no maintenance garden because none of the flowers in this garden bed need any deadheading. So in here I have poppy, a bunch of peony plants that will be blooming soon, and there's the Perennial Alyssum, the basket of Gold Alyssum, and there's a little bit of weeds in here because I was away and just didn't get a chance to weed, but it's a small garden space. I have just a lot of easy plants in here. So there's the basket of Gold Alyssum in its glory, such a bright addition, and it's really spreading this year. So all these plants are really good ground covers, or great for spilling onto walkways or rock walls. Thank you so much for watching and for subscribing.